A consumer proposal is a deal to eliminate your debts. Here's an example. Let's say things were going well, you had a good job, and then something went wrong. You lost your job, or got sick, or got divorced, and you used credit to survive, and now you can't keep up with your payments. So now you owe money on credit cards, bank loans, payday loans, and income taxes. You're back to work, you've got a good job, so you can afford to pay something each month, but some months it's a struggle just to make your minimum payments. How can you deal with your debts? The solution might be a consumer proposal. We figure out what you can afford to pay each month, and then we offer that deal to the people you owe money to. In a typical consumer proposal, you might end up paying back a half or even a third of what you owe, and the creditors agree to wipe out the rest of your debt. Why would they agree to write off some of your debt? Because they don't want you to go bankrupt. So what's the catch? Well, there's lots of catches. A consumer proposal isn't something I made up. It was created by the federal government. It's federal law, so there are 3 rules that need to be followed. Rule number 1, you must offer your creditors more than what they would get in a bankruptcy, otherwise they won't accept the deal. If you have a job making lots of money or you own lots of assets, both a consumer proposal and a bankruptcy are expensive, so they might not work for you. Don't worry, when you meet with us, we'll explain how they both work. Rule number 2, you've got to be able to make a payment each month. If you're working or have a good pension, great. If you have no income and no assets, a consumer proposal probably won't be the answer for you. When we meet, we'll spend some time with you working out a monthly budget to see what you can afford to pay each month. Each of your creditors will get a copy of that budget, so it has to be reasonable. Rule number 3, the final rule. Because a consumer proposal is a legal procedure governed by federal law, it must be filed by a consumer proposal administrator licensed by the federal government. Your proposal can't be filed by an ordinary accountant or a lawyer or a credit counselor or a debt consultant. Only a person licensed by the federal government can file a proposal on your behalf. So before you pay any money to anyone, make sure they're licensed by the federal government. And yes, in case you're wondering, Hoyes Michaelis & Associates Inc. is licensed by the federal government to file consumer proposals. A consumer proposal is not the right solution for everyone. Many people can deal with their debts by making a budget, cutting their expenses, getting a second job, selling assets, or refinancing their home. But if you don't have any assets to sell, and if you can't refinance, and you can't afford to repay your debts in full, a consumer proposal might be the best way for you to deal with your debts.